Iman. As far as the decrease of Iman, Ikhwan, one's Iman decreasing, it is something that you'll find, Ikhwan, will occur for those of you who are new to practicing and have the zeal. May Allah Azza wa Jalla increase you in zeal, and the zeal that you have, and not cause it to waver. But inevitably, as the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, لِكُلِّ عَمَلٍ شِرَّ وَلِكُلِّ شِرَّةٍ فَتْرَةٍ, that for every amal, for every action, there is a shirra, yani there is a period of enthusiasm, and every period of enthusiasm is followed with a period of coming down. And so whosoever's period of coming down is in accordance with my sunnah, then he is saved. And whosoever's period of coming down is to other than that, then he will be destroyed. And so the affair of preserving one's Iman and preserving oneself from having his Iman deplete is something, Ikhwan, that is very important for us to be aware of and ardent concerning and careful of. Know that the shaitan, when he attempts to destroy an individual or remove him from the station of Iman that he has, cause his Iman to weaken, he does it ordinarily, Ikhwan, in very gradual steps, in a manner that most people don't even recognize. Slowly but surely, he begins to abandon and leave those things that were giving him strength. And so, for example, he leaves alone rak'atayn after his salawat. He leaves alone the rawatib. He leaves alone the supererogatory prayers. That is usually one of the first things that he abandons. Slowly but surely, he leaves alone those supererogatory actions that he used to do. Fasting, the nawafil, the fasting on Mondays and Thursdays, or even if it is just 3 days a month. But he leaves off those actions. And then he begins to abandon the smaller things, those things that he considers small, but all of these things were all contributing to his strength in Iman. And so, for example, he begins to abandon the miswak. He used to be ardent upon it, and then he abandons it. Slowly but surely, he abandons a particular element of his dress. And so he abandons his kufi, mathalan. When he used to wear the kufi, he abandons the kufi. And he slowly but surely weakens in minute areas that the shaitan slowly but surely works upon his structure, and works upon his Iman. And again, it is by way of those small, unrecognizable, incremental changes. And so what a person needs to be ardent upon is thinking, recollecting, and thinking about those things that he used to be strung upon and firm upon, that he has now abandoned, and that he returns back to them. And it is those small things that when we leave them one by one, it is by abandoning those small things, the dua that he recites when he goes to sleep, the dua that he recites when he rises in the morning, the dua for entering the toilet, saying Bismillah when he enters the home, the adhkar when he leaves his home, the adhkar of the morning and the evening. These things slowly but surely, we've got a new job now, so we haven't really got time for that anymore. Or now we have become, we're now accountants. Now we're qualified, so we don't really have time for that anymore. Or now we now have businesses, so we don't really have much time for that anymore. Or now we're married and we've got a few kids, and it wasn't like before when we were teenagers and we were 18, 19, 20. We don't have time for that anymore. And that is the attitude that the shaitan instills within the believer. I would love to be able to do it, but I just don't have time for it anymore. And that, ikhwan, is from the affairs which, if we allow the shaitan to work on our structures, then no, slowly but surely he will take us away from Eemaan until we're just left on the bare bones, on the bare basics. That we're just about establishing 5, and even that, ikhwan, we're having problems doing. Anyway, establishing 5, but we're delaying the salawat. We're praying them just at the end of their time, or sometimes we pray them even outside of their times. And so our deen begins to become weaker and weaker and weaker based upon our practice. And so strengthening our deen is by reversing all of the above. That we look back on how we used to be, and we reverse all of the above. And we slowly but surely re-implement those things that we were doing when we were stronger. And know that it is inevitable that when one becomes weak, he becomes weak because of the fact that he's abandoned things that he was practicing, and he abandons elements of the sunnah that he was upon when he was stronger.